Looks like we made it to episode 10 of the weekly stand-up. Lots to talk about today, lots of metaphors, lots of segues. What are we going to talk about? Well, I'm glad you asked. King Charles' coronation over the past weekend, plus an upcoming coronation you may not even be aware of. We talk about a HubSpot President's Club travel mishap. We also talk about a new segment that we're introducing, a nasty new segment, stolen from Emily Brady, who stole it from Jimmy Kimmel, who stole it from... Anyway, it's a mean tweet segment. But first, a joke. A potato made headlines this past week for disallowing his daughter's marriage to a sports announcer. When asked why, the potato simply said, because he's a commentator. Let's go! Hello and welcome to the weekly stand-up. I'm your host, Buck Ingham. Our top story, King Charles' coronation. It happened this past weekend, Saturday, May the 6th at Westminster Abbey. 20 million plus people across the globe watched as the 40th monarch since 1066 was coronated. Apparently that means taking part in a lot of royal activities. King Charles took a royal oath. He was anointed with, say this 5 times fast, royal oils and presented the royal regalia. The ceremony was fantastic. He takes the throne of his late mother, Queen Elizabeth, who passed last September. I will say that Queen Elizabeth's reign was the longest for a British monarch in history. It's 70 years, 214 days. So if you've seen this show and you're holding your breath for me to be funny, I'm not going to do that. What I will say is that 70 years, 214 days is a long time. Can you imagine had she not been so loved and overwhelmingly popular? I mean, there's a lot of things that go into removing a queen or a monarch or a contract. See where I'm going with this now. It takes endorsement via public referendum. It takes legislation being passed by Parliament. Speaking of ceremonies and public endorsement, HubSpot released their quarterly earnings report last week. Also, they're up 27% year-over-year growth, 23% new customer acquisition. Sales Hub by itself is now a $500 million line of business, looking to be $1 billion within the next couple weeks. Excuse me. What I will say there is that Salesforce plans to abdicate its throne sometime early in 2024. HubSpot being coronated. We'll check into if that's a verb, and we'll move into our next segment. Our next segment was stolen from Emily Brady, who stole it from Jimmy Kimmel. It's like anything nowadays, people are going to have a negative opinion about the new king, the new monarch, the old king, the old queen, the new CRM platform that's changing the world. And because people have a negative opinion, sometimes people don't agree, they find a place for that opinion to be expressed, like Twitter. Helping us out with our new segment, Mean Tweets, is the Rev Partners team. Introducing the Rev Partners team, the fastest elite tiering HubSpot solutions partner in history. Take it away.
Dear Alex, where can I send my letter for you to shut the F up? P.S. Te odio. We do have a bilingual audience after all. Let's watch another episode of Letters to Alex, or as I like to call it, Chuckles the HubSpot Clown. I guess I do deserve that one.
Is it just me, or does Jen Nault seem like the type of person who would hire you and then give your home address to a hitman? I don't know.
Is RevOps your pastor name or your profession? Reverend Operations. Yes, that's my pastor name. Strong YWP vibes coming from you, Furman. Okay. Youth pastor worship. Okay, so youth worship pastor. I could sing of your hubs forever. Okay, that's enough of that.
I hope everyone has the best day ever. Except for you, Brendan Thomason. Kiss my ass? What'd I do to you?
If Sylvester Stallone had gone into SaaS sales instead of boxing, you get at Rob Jones. Yo, Adrian, sign the contract.
You know Pete just logs off his PC at 5 p.m. sharp and has a bland fish and chip dinner and watches reruns of Antique Roadshow. Yeah? Is there a HubSpot integration to fix your teeth? Because Pete Roberts' smile looks like it's been designed by a drunken game of Tetris. You know what's shorter than Pete Roberts? His chances of winning a storytelling contest. Maybe he should try marketing his tales as HubSpot for Hobbits.
Matt Bolian talks about HubSpot like a kid talks about their imaginary friend, all the time and with an annoying amount of enthusiasm. Listening to Matt talk about HubSpot is like watching paint dry, except the paint never shuts up.
That should have been fun, could have been a lot worse, but wasn't. It was pretty terrible. Speaking of things that should be fun but are actually terrible, all my best friends are in Monaco this week, except for one. Because of a passport expiration issue, Caleb King was not allowed to fly to Monaco to be with his people. What is that? Sorry, I'm just upset. Caleb is a good friend who I've never met, but it outrages me that he's not able to be recognized, rewarded, spend time with his family and his colleagues in Monaco. Monaco! Caleb, I want to dedicate this episode to you. We are out of time for the week. What I want to take a look back at really quick. Keontae Sanchez, Mohammed, you know who you are. You said you'd send me an audition tape to be on the show. We'll take a look next week. We did manage to secure a marketing sponsor. He is the guru of cold email himself, Will Allred.
Fantastic.
Not gonna lie, we stole that. It wasn't very good. We couldn't afford it. Will, sorry, you're fantastic. But we do need people. We need correspondents. Next week, we sit down with an interview with the mayor of Inbound, who's running unopposed in an election that doesn't really exist this September for Inbound. He's already won, but he's going to sit down and chat with us for a moment. We also introduce a